Jernigan, and I'm writing a book to help parents learn how to teach their children their second language, even if it's a language they're still learning. Today we're going to tackle the question of, will teaching my child a second language confuse them? So I'll ask my daughter Sydney, who has been speaking Portuguese to me as long as she's been able to talk, how she knows when to speak Portuguese and when to speak English.
I usually always speak Portuguese to my mother unless there's like a joke that wouldn't be funny in another language, or there's just something that I really don't know the word yet. But usually, even if I don't know the word, I would describe it in Portuguese. But that's usually, I'll just always speak Portuguese.
Okay, so and then I guess I'd want her to know if it's ever confusing, like, you know, sometimes her grandmother's at the table or her father's at the table. Is that ever a confusion for her?
Well, no, because if I know two different languages, if you know it well, then, which usually you do, you can easily say it in one language and then translate it in another.
Okay, great. I spoke with my daughter about that last response, and she said she was unsure how to answer the question over did she ever get confused over whether to speak English or Portuguese, because she doesn't get confused. So I think she's learned how to separate English from Portuguese, just like children learn how to use more dignified language versus slang if they're in a more formal situation or setting versus out with their friends on the playground. In the book I'm writing, I not only use my own experiences with my children, but I've also interviewed parents who are teaching their children to speak their second language. I remember one woman I interviewed was speaking the baby talk that we tend to talk in when we speak to infants. She was doing so in French, which was a language she'd learned in college. She said that people would look at her and say, "Oh, don't do that. You're going to confuse the baby." If we're going to speak our second language to our children, we need to be secure in the fact that our babies do have the capacity to sort out different languages. During an infant's first 2 years, the neural pathways are exploding, neurons being brain cells. And this neural net becomes the foundation on which future learning is built. Studies have shown that a bilingual environment not only does not confuse children, but it actually helps them learn their first language, because the neural pathways they're forming in their brain can be useful for making more neural pathways. I like to think of it like this. New learning forms more hangers on which future learning can hang. So you're giving your child an edge, not a disability. I'll talk more about this in detail in the guidebook. Keep up with future progress by befriending me on Facebook or on this YouTube channel. Goodbye for now.